Hello, dear friends from Light in the Shy Spiritist group. Um, Fran here, connecting from Sutherland Multipurpose Center, and just about getting ready so we can all start our harmonization. So, welcome. Thank you for being with us here tonight. I will read a message from the book Happy Life by Joanna de Angelis, and hopefully we can start harmonizing. And at 8 p.m. sharp, we can get started with our therapeutic meeting tonight, which is going to include the therapeutic talk on the topic our home, our family, our spiritual journey. Thank you for being here with us. So I'll be reading the message on solidarity from the book Happy Life by the Spirit Joanna de Angelis. While you have resources, cultivate solidarity. You are a social being who needs to coexist with other people in order to fulfill the goals for which you were reborn. Solidarity is one of the most valuable tools for success. Be useful and kind. Spread goodness, and in return, you will never be lonely. This topic, this message has actually been quite connected with the topic we're going to talk about tonight, because when we're talking about family units, the spirits that might be very connected with us in this lifetime. They might have been with us over many, many lifetimes. We might have very similar dispositions, affinities, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes they might be spirits that we actually have a lot of challenge with, but they were connected with us for this life, for this incarnation together, because we have something to learn from one another. So when we talk about cultivating solidarity, it does start at home. It starts with our own family. It starts with being patient and kind and understanding where the other is coming from, trying to think about things from their perspective or wearing their shoes, like they say. So it's very, very important to um, kind of cultivate that patient, kind, um, everyday attitude, because with those we live with those who knows us best, sometimes the challenge we might have is we overstep some boundaries and we might not always show the best version of ourselves. And part of cultivating solidarity is doing that with those that really know us. And, we shouldn't be always testing all the boundaries. We can start spreading goodness, like Joana de Angelis recommended, starting from home. So that's a message for us to think about and consider. And we'll start with a very short guided harmonization. So please feel free to join us if you like to, and we'll get started in a minute. So let us close our eyes if you're comfortable doing that. Otherwise, you can keep your eyes open. We'll take a deep breath. And as we breathe in the air, let's feel this energy of peace, love, and serenity around us, entering our beings and bringing us to center, bringing us to feeling the protection of our spiritual mentor and all the good spirits around us. Let us think of all the light workers that are supporting the work of Light in the Shire Spiritist group, of the Darwal people of the Sutherland Shire, in which land we are hosting this talk tonight. Let's feel the light workers working to spread good and light and connecting us with the divine source. Let's feel our hearts vibrating this love, and we ask for this protection and this guidance to stay with us, so we are open to learning more about this topic together. May this peace and light be with us. Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. Um, so, I might have met um, a lot of you throughout the years that we've been working together here at Light in the Shire, but my name is Fran. For those I haven't met, thank you for being with us. And we will start our therapeutic talk now. The topic being our home, our family, our spiritual journey. So, our spiritual journey has been carefully planned, and sometimes we might be able to choose a reincarnatory plan for this particular lifetime where we are right now, or we might have the help of mentors. So we all have an individual mentor that supports us and who knows us very well, because most of the time they have been with us in many journeys, many lifetimes, so they really know us well, and they can kind of endorse the challenges that we are ready to take on. And in planning our reincarnatory sequence of lives, we of course need support. We first need someone to bring us into the world. So we all have a mother, we all have a father. We might know them, we might not know them, but there were many beings involved in the journey of getting us to be part of a family that we are part of. And sometimes it's planning the birth of our grandmother, grandfather, then our parents, making sure they meet. So as you can imagine, and as you can understand where this is going, there's a lot of work put into the planning and the preparation for us to be part of the family that we are part of. So there is a very lovely message from the medium Francisco do Espírito Neto, Francisco do Espírito Santo Neto. So this is the medium that receives a lot of messages from the spirit Hamed. And there's a message that he summarizes all around our family, our where we are, why we're there, and our spiritual journey. So I'll read that message now. So he says, "You were born into the home you needed. You were put in the physical body you deserved. You live in the best place that God could provide you according to your advance. You have the financial resources consistent with your needs, no more, no less, but what is fair for you to go through your earthly struggles. Your work environment is what you spontaneously choose for your work. Your relatives and friends are the souls you attracted with your own affinities. Therefore, your destiny is constantly under your control. You choose, collect, elect, attract, stick, expel, modify everything that surrounds your existence. Your thoughts and will are the key to your actions and attitudes. They are the sources of attraction and repulsion on your experiential journey. Don't complain or act like a victim. First of all, analyze and observe. The change is in your hand. Reprogram your goals. Seek the good, and you will live better. So, this message says a lot in just a few sentences, but basically, as Francisco do Espírito Santo Neto said, everything around our destiny has been ultimately chosen by us, consciously or unconsciously, but we have attracted over many lifetimes the people who are the closest to us, who are incarnating in this lifetime as our family. So our moms, our dads, the most, I think the closest friends that we have, they are affinities that we acquired through many lifetimes, through many choices. And sometimes we might be in a process of changing, or trying to change, our essence is still there. And we might encounter ourselves sometimes connected with spirits that are no longer seeking the same things that we are. But in essence, there is a lot for us to learn from everyone around us. And it could be a learning to do the same thing as they do, or learning to not really repeat the mistakes or the behaviors that they have that we don't agree with, but we can learn something from them. And we mentioned this when we were advertising this talk. We're talking about what the topic was going to entail. We understand that as we head into the festive season, there's a lot of anxiety and mixed feelings that can be brought to surface, because we will be spending more time with people that we love, but we will be having this unrestricted family time. And we might have very positive memories of Christmas and New Year and the family being together, or we might have not so good memories. We might be close to our family and able to enjoy that festive season together. We might be far away from them and still have to endure being far away. So we are going to try and talk about some of the things that we can do to preserve our mental health, our well-being, and what are the things that Spiritism brings to us in that topic that can help us stay positive and make the most of this period ahead of us. I was actually looking at, because we're doing an Advent calendar today, so it's only 27 sleeps until Christmas here in Australia. So, being the 28th of November. So it's a bit scary how quickly time is going. But yeah, why don't we think about how can we prepare ourselves? Not just wrapping gifts or thinking about what we're going to eat, but how are we going to prepare ourselves for the mental, the emotional challenges and activities that we're going to have to go through, right? So let's start thinking about those family ties and those mechanisms, those dynamics around us. So the Spirit Emmanuel has brought a very, very good definition for us from the book Thought and Life on chapter 12 called The Family. So let's talk about his, not theory, but his way of seeing family ties and why we are connected with the family that we are. So basically, he said, family relationships can be considered the most important basis of our mental reflexes. So we all have our own individuality, of course. We have, control over our thoughts, our minds, our mental reflexes, but we are heirs of some of that through our experiences growing up, through what our parents have given us in terms of advice, of habits, and teachings, family traditions, and etc. So, of course, these reflexes can be pleasant or unpleasant according to what the past brings back to us. What was the experience that we had? So, when we think about spiritual renewal, the task that we have set for ourselves in terms of our spiritual renewal, we all have to temporarily adjust the range of ability that is within our capability to develop. No task that was assigned to us or challenge that was assigned to us in this lifetime is going to be more than we are prepared to handle. That's one thing that we have to think about. And Emmanuel continued explaining, in other words, each one can only gradually reach beyond the mental reflexes set for themselves. So we set ourselves some goals for this lifetime, and the mental reflexes, the atmosphere, the vibe, the theme of our individuality, of our lives, what we want to accomplish, we set that for ourselves, but we have, of course, the influence of our family. So he continues explains that each spirit reincarnates in the same sphere of their family relationships. So families, when we talk about spiritual families, and we'll explain that soon, is a group of spirits that we are connected with, that we have some affinity with. And these spirit families and these relationships, they are the ones that stay with us after this, physical life is ending. And we have this woven, so it's like we have threads connecting us with all these different spirits, and these links we have woven for ourselves according to our thoughts and inclinations. They are around us, and they are around our family members that might now differ a little bit from what we're choosing to do, or sometimes they might be doing better than we are, or they might be doing exactly the same thing that we are doing, trying to do, better. So, of course, we have those plans made for us to support us, either observe and repeat some of the examples that we were given, or refute, try not to do anything like we have been taught, and do completely the opposite. But the resources are prepared for us for a reason. So he mentions here what is referred to as psychological hereditary, therefore, is in a way due to the natural gathering of spirits of the same inclinations and activities. So, as psychology or other um, philosophies, sciences try to explain why people act a certain way, of course, to a point, there is an hereditary element, but this is all planned around our spiritual individuality. And we develop traits over many lifetimes. And of course, to change a few of these characteristics, it might take a lot of time as well. So in our family group, we can have both the links of happiness that we have been building for many, many existences. So we can have the reflection of the love that we expressed, the feathers of constraint and animosity that we developed with people that we didn't really like, but we needed to kind of learn to love. So these chains come from the disturbing vices we fashion in our destiny's memory, in which we need to undo. So any difficulties we face with some particular family members are there because we need to balance them out. So when we think about the law of action and reaction, or karma, as we commonly talk about, there is no victim and perpetrator. We are all connected, and we're all responsible for our own actions. So we never should be thinking we are victims of, XYZ person, or why do they do what they do to me, or ha ha ha. There's always an explanation, and it's very individual, but we have to believe, or it's wise to think that we are collecting, or we are harvesting what we have sowed in the past. So we need to create balance. Where we have challenges, it's because we need to learn something from those situations, people, and we will find ourselves always seeing that some things get repeated. There's some things in our lives that seem like, a repetition. You could put something on loop and it's going over and over again. It's because we still haven't learned that lesson, and we haven't learned to love that particular person. We haven't learned to forgive or accept them for who they are. So there's always something there for us to think about and learn. So this being a task that involves work and self-sacrifice, as well as patience and humility. So work, self-sacrifice, patience, humility. Very good. 4 key words for us to remember. If we can remember or take away anything from this talk, it's what Emmanuel has recommended us to take away. These are new resources for the production of spiritualized mental reflexes that are capable of erasing the effects of precious, troubled, and unfortunate conduct. So, if we can remember, do the work. Sometimes we have to sacrifice ourselves. Learn to be more patient and humble. Learn that if we have to be patient with the mistakes of others, it's because we have made that mistake several times, and someone was patient with us, patient enough until we could learn the lesson. And stay humble, as in we don't know everything and we're not perfect. When we put ourselves in that position that we can always learn something from the situation and that we are still very imperfect, that's how we're going to learn to improve. It's when we really open ourselves up to that possibility. So, as I mentioned, there's a definition in the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 4, item 18, around family. So, spiritual family, physical family. What does that entail, and what happens when we pass away? And how do we balance out? Are we learning something? Are we not? What's going on? What's our status there? So in space, spirit entities from groups and families bound together by affection, sympathy towards each other, and by similar inclinations, as we mentioned before. Happy at being together, these spirits seek each other. Incarnate life separates them only for a while. So on returning to the spiritual world, they again reunite as friends who have just returned from a journey. Frequently, they will even follow each other into incarnate form, coming here to be united in the same family or in the same circle of friends and acquaintances in order to work together for their mutual progress. When some members of the same spiritual family become incarnate and others not, then they continue their contact by means of thought. So, just to make a parenthesis here, we might have a lot of spirits that love us, that are cheering for us in this lifetime. They're not able to be here in this incarnate life, but they might know the spirits that we have reincarnated with really well. So the direct family members we have, and they can give us some advice if we can connect with them through thought, like the book has just explained to us in the Gospel according to Spiritism. When some members of the same spiritual family, those who are more advanced do everything they can for the less advanced, so helping them to progress. After each physical existence, all have made some advancement, even if it's only a step along the path to progress. As they become less bound by matter, their affections become more real and more spiritually refined due to the fact that they're not perturbed by selfish or violent passions. This then allows them to live many lives in the flesh without suffering any loss of mutual esteem. So we hurt each other less when we are more involved, of course, and we can enjoy our lives a little bit more dearer. Something to look forward to as well. But so some advice, practical advice now, thinking, okay, friend, we're talking about all these things. So we know those people that we love and we love to hang out with. We know those that we have a lot of difficulty with. Fair enough. We can reflect on those 4 things that Emmanuel has given us some advice on. But what else can we do to practically try to stay stable? So one thing that we talk about a lot that benefits our homes is the practice of light at home. So what is the practice of light at home? We choose one day of the week and one time that everyone in the home can be together, and we will open a book. It can be a spiritual book, it can be the Gospel according to Spiritism, it can be another book if that's what you prefer. It's just a matter of finding a book that everyone can read a quick message on. We can put water to be magnetized by the spiritual friends that are there to support us. And we are taking the moment to connect with these spiritual mentors. So every home has a spiritual protector. Every individual has their own mentors, but we can connect with the group of spirits that are supporting our journey here. So all the spirits that we were talking about before, those who love us dearly, who are not incarnate, might be more advanced than we are, understand our struggles, and can support us balance ourselves. And we can ask them to cleanse our homes. We can meditate on a message that they might particularly be sending if we open the book randomly. And we can all have a little reflection about it. That's a nice way to make a consistent connection with our spiritual friends and to protect our homes, because it's like creating a bubble of protection around our homes that will help us stay more mentally balanced, emotionally balanced as we are dealing with each other every day. And There's a few other things, of course, that we can do besides meditating, praying. So I'll read a few pieces of advice that can help us during this festive season. So one thing is to try and acknowledge and accept what we're feeling. Sometimes we might be angry with a loved one, or they might be doing something that we don't like, or we might be a little less patient, and we might end up taking up on them. Why don't we just acknowledge what we're feeling and process it? If we need to take time for ourselves to process it, on our own, do it. Anything that we can do to limit mitigation of conflict, or improve mitigation of conflict, or reduce conflict will be helpful. So only when people can name a feeling, they can deal with a feeling. That's common knowledge in self-awareness practice. So if we are handling family time and we lost someone, this year, a loved family member that we might miss, it's important to know that people continue in the spiritual life, but we still miss them. So we have to make space for grief and loss as well. And this year, a lot of people have lost many loved ones. I think we've been doing this for a couple of years now. With COVID, with all the challenges. I mean, all the challenges that we're facing, even financial loss, the loss of the opportunity to be traveling and seeing people we love because of the financial pressures. Seeing the world the way it is with war, all these things that are taking place right now can feel like we are grieving. So make space for grieving. It's natural to feel loss. It's good to share that feeling with someone. So if you have someone that you trust, that you like to open up with, it's very important to do that, so we're not feeling 100% alone. And we can talk to our guardian angels, to our mentors as well. Open our hearts up. They can help us balance those emotions if we need help and if we ask for it. Focus on giving. Christmas can be a time of people thinking that they're giving gifts to everyone. The greatest gift that we can give is listening to someone who needs to talk, being patient, being loving, being kind, thanking people, being grateful for what they have offered us this year, being very, very genuine and honest towards those people that have made our lives better this year, and to thank those that have created challenges as well, because like we discussed before, it's through those challenges that we learn. So giving time to, well, putting time aside for giving, not just expecting to receive things, and to be grateful for what we have is very, very important and can help us stay better balanced. Keeping tabs on stress and anxiety levels. We can be very busy that time of the year. We can be planning, like I mentioned, a lot of menus and shopping and all these things, and trying to idealize what would be a perfect family. And a lot of us might think, oh, wow, I don't know what is a perfect Christmas or a perfect family, because there's not a perfect family. There is not a perfect Christmas. So I think it's also managing expectations of a number of things, so if we are fantasizing about what we want Christmas to look like, or the festive season to look like, let's try to break down what we're thinking about, what we're idealizing and thinking, is this realistic? Is this something that I could expect from my family, or am I making expectations up here that are going to lead to disappointment? Very important to do that. And if we are getting irritable, worried, if we can't sleep, let's think about what are the things that we are considering a priority, what really matters, and what is something that we do not need right now, and we do not need for this period at all, and we can completely eliminate and scrap off our list. Setting healthy boundaries, again, very important. If we are declining an invite, saying no to people, to what they're planning on doing, or even, whatever it is that we want to set our boundaries, on, or not taking on responsibilities that people are trying to push on us. Let's do that. Let's, be realistic around what we can and can't do, so we don't overdo. We don't override our own needs. It's very important to look after ourselves as well, and we are the only ones who know our boundaries and our limits. We shouldn't let other people set the tone and expect the world of us as well. Taking time out, very important. Um, Trying to be together with those who matter to us. If we are apart, let's try to be connected with them. Distance is only a matter of, not being physically present, of course, is something that can impact all of us. But for us that are trying to learn more about the spiritual world, we know that being far away is not a reason for us not to be connected, because thought, love, positive emotions can connect us more than maybe being with someone who is right next to us and we have no connection with. So it's all about making that connection. And the last but not least, let's remember that we're not alone. And Christmas should be a time of thinking about the birth of a spirit that's so elevated that he is the governor of our planet and he's here to protect us. So it's not about gifts, it's not about material things. It's about cultivating love in our hearts and learning to love like he has loved us. That's the true meaning of Christmas for anyone that is Christian. If you're not Christian, there's something that you can do during this time of the year to celebrate your family, your achievements, and your spiritual journey as well. So, again, let's build protection around our homes. Let's think about things that truly matter, and let's discard things that are not really important, because that's the most important thing in this time of year. And with that, we're going to be wrapping up our talk tonight. We'll be sharing the info graphic on light at home practice. So if you miss those points on how to run the practice, you can have a little read. And we will finalize our meeting with our vibrations of love. So if you want to join us, we'll be more than welcome to do that now. And thank you again for your attention. Thank you for being with us one more year. It was lovely being here with you in 2023. And we will be back in the first Tuesday of February 2024. And we'll be posting all the information on our first talk of the year here soon. So thank you for being with us. If you are feeling comfortable to do these vibrations and meditation with your eyes closed, you can close your eyes right now. And we're going to reconnect with our spiritual workers, light workers, mentors, and guides. Let's connect with the guides of our families, those who know, as we were discussing tonight, the biggest challenges we have and why. May they bring this light of love, of understanding, or of acceptance, and strength for us to remember the path of love towards all of them. Let us think of all the homes in this world, especially those who are going through a lot of trouble, being surrounded by light and protected by the divine love. Let us imagine this idea, this union around world peace, connecting everyone, every single being in both sides of life, connected with this planet. So this idea of peace can be closer to our reality soon. And this love and light can be sent to all of those who are currently suffering the effects of war, of hunger, of ignorance, or violence of any kind. May the blessings of our divine source be reaching anyone who's sick, who's in their homes, or different institutions of help, for their mental, emotional, and physical well-being. May this energy rebalance all the spirits who are seeking light and protect us from those who are still in the path of ignorance. Let us pray. Let us send a lot of love to our families, to our homes, asking for this protection during this festive season, during this 27 days to go and beyond, to our workplaces, to our places of study, and to all of those who might consider themselves our enemies of the past for whatever reason. May we bring our heart open for reconciliation, for rebuilding, for rebalancing into all of those relationships, humbly asking for forgiveness for our past mistakes and opening ourselves to learning to be better. May this peace and light stay with us throughout the end of this year, that we had a blessing to have and be protecting us for a new year of life ahead. Thank you. Peace be with us. Thank you again, dear friends. May this peace and love stay with you, your family, your loved ones. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being with us again this year, and we look forward to being with you in 2024. We will send a lot of information here between now and then, but may you stay in peace and find solace and strength to have a very positive end of the year. Peace be with you, my friends.